What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy COBstarcraft here, coming at you with another game between Monchi and AI Cola. Of course, Monchi took the first one in a blisteringly quick game because AI Cola absolutely failed. I mean, honestly, it could have been featured on When Cheese Fails by Lag TV. And yeah, so currently we have Monchi, of course, spawning in the somewhat right position, and we're gonna have AI Cola spawning in the very close air position. And so yeah, let's get this match underway. So I hope you guys have been enjoying. I hope you guys have been subscribing. Of course, this is COBstarcraft, you know, shit like that, blah blah blah. Alright, now time to get to the crux of the matter. Monchi is going to be throwing down a pylon. Of course, there's no need to be walling off at this choke, and he's not going to be going for the early expansion. Most likely, he'll be going for his average 3-gate expand, but we'll just have to wait and see. He's also chrono boosting out until he hits 12, where he can then throw down his gateway and then most likely scout afterwards, which is the right thing to do. Interestingly enough, I'm wondering where he's going to opt to scout first. It is going to be that very first one right next to him with AI Cola, and these two probes and SCVs are going to do a quick little high five right there. And now we're seeing pretty well nothing. Of course, interestingly enough, the barracks is going to be all the way back here, even though he did start to go for the wall off, so he may be opting for a all supply depot wall off, or maybe no wall off at all. As well, the refinery is now going down for AI Cola, and Monchi is getting his scout on. Wow. Rallying up many a point, and Monchi's now throwing down his own assimilator right on time as well. I'd like to see that pylon positioned a little bit further up north, but there is no worries about that. And of course, the cybernetics core going down at about a pretty standard time. This pylon actually taking some damage from this one guy, so let's see back if he can go and do any more kind of harassment, maybe some mineral line harassment, which has been ever so helpful nowadays. And yeah, so we are indeed most likely going to see a all supply depot wall off, but interestingly enough, we got some attack commands rallied up, and this SCV is maybe going to be run all the way home, or maybe not, although in any case the probe and SCV will meet again at the Zelnaga Cavern. And in any case, let's get back to the actual game rather than me mumbling on about two SCV and probes and their love story. We have the warp gate tech that is not going to be chrono boosted out until now, of course. Monchi just has to prove me wrong, and maybe we will see some kind of early pressure. Monchi's been known to throw down some early pressure with a zealot and a stalker, more just to poke around, see what's up. Now we are going to see a bunker go down instead of another supply depot, and of course this one guy is going to be trying to catch up. Monchi's actually got this timing down as far as I'm concerned, because it is an awkward timing to be pushing out and making a little bit of pressure. He does have some Marines, but of course one stalker will be able to take out those Marines on their own if he has proper micro. I don't know why the probe went in there too, and he should be wanting to bait them in, maybe take out this probe, and the probe is going to go down, but no, not many hits off on that cell, and there is going to be the expand behind the... Wow. Is that... Really? Am I missing something? Am I just blind? That looks to be a one gate into a robo, followed by the expand. That is a extremely risky build, which could either mean Monchi wins the game, or you know what? I don't even like that build at all. I think that's pretty bad. But we do see a starport on the way, so chrono boosting out a observer could be 100% necessary. In any case, now he's going to be throwing down two more gates to go for the 3-gate expand. The 2 gates were just a little bit delayed. And as far as I'm concerned, we should be seeing some siege tech on the way for this guy, and we're definitely going to see some drop because Monchi is in super close spawn locations, and of course this one observer is going to be chrono boosted out and headed all the way to AI Cola's base. And we're now seeing a command center going down, which is going to be a little bit behind Monchi's. And if we take a quick look here at the income tab, we're going to see Monchi's ahead by about 200, give or take. And that's because he just got his expansion up and is slowly saturating. If we take again another look at the probe count, it's going to be 30 to 24, and that's a pretty big advantage. But of course, Monchi also does have the advantage somewhat on the army counting station. So that is essentially it. And actually, you know what? I might as well bring into the cast. Who do I have sitting next to me? Want to say hi there, Andrew?
Sure.
Go ahead and say hi. Alright, well that was his attempt at saying hi, but of course he's a little camera shy. I'm not going to hate him on that, but I figured, you know, here comes a drop, which I'm glad I actually was able to catch, and AI Cola could cause some serious pressure here. He needs to be able to micro his units effectively, maybe take out that Immortal, however he needs to get out of there without losing this one ship. No, he's not going to be able to lose that, and of course, that was all brought to you by Andrew being nice and gun shy. Now he's putting on his headphones like he never heard me say anything before. We are indeed going to see a tech lab, so that could mean some big Banshee play. I wouldn't be surprised to see a 1-1-1 build. That was a scream from him. I don't know why he was doing it, especially mid-cast. Who knows? That's his option. I'd love to see. Oh, he lost a game in StarCraft. That's never happened to anyone before, I'm sure. So I would love to see Monchi kind of sit back and macro for a bit. Of course, I always say this for Monchi, and maybe one day he'll listen to me, especially now that I'm part of the eWAVE team. Maybe he will start getting that 4th century. For the love of God, Monchi, get a 4th century. I've literally said this in all the casts, every single cast, but Monchi that is the most disgusting banana I have ever seen. Dear God, it's all brown and custy, but in any case, let's get back to the game. I mean, I am just getting so distracted here. Now we are seeing the orbital command is finished, and it is now planted, and 2 very good placements of these siege tanks, and a 3rd is coming out, which I'd love to see him place it either here, or maybe just right here. You know, get some variety, or maybe even here would be good. But in any case, do we have stim? We don't have any combat shield, which is interesting. That's generally one of the first things you want to get. And of course, you do want to get stim, which I do believe they have. No, they don't. Well, that's actually not the best thing ever. And there is going to be a double bunker. Bad placement, though. This bunker should be moved over just that little bit. And Monchi's now going to be moving in with his split forces. He should be able to... No, he's not going to be able to blink up there because, of course, blink is not finished. His blink on the way it is, and he should be trying to cone boost out blink, and he's going to be able to soften a supply depot, which is going to be doing absolutely nothing because now siege tank fire is going to rain down on him, or not. Who knows? And there's going to be a bit of a waste of a scan. And the observer is going to be going down, and there's still no 4th century, so apparently he never wants to listen to me, especially mid-game, but who knew? And if we just pop back over here, Monchi's now going to be pushing in. I'm not sure what he's going to be going up against. We should see some good force fields, and he's absolutely going to be crushed here, I would imagine, judging on the siege tank positioning, although he did unsiege a bunch of his siege tanks, and now Banshees are going to be able to cause some serious damage. Great blink in to take out the siege tanks, and I'm really nervous because my roommate is sitting right next to me, although AI Cola is looking to be in a good position to hold this off pretty handily. Yes, indeed, and there's one random auto turret which does, like, no damage. Yeah. And apparently my roommate has to loom over me while I do a cast, and maybe this Banshee is going to be moving in to do a little bit of damage. I'd love to see any kind of cloak or anything like that and go for a bit of a 1-1-1 build, although he will be able to take that out without it even getting a shot off. That is a damn shame. Monchi, that would suck to be AI Cola right there. Like run in a Banshee, which is actually quite expensive, just for half a scout. Actually, if we take a quick look at the scouting of the map, currently Monchi has, I'd say, the most scouting done, and AI Cola has pretty well nothing. So yeah, and then let's take a quick look at the APM tab, because this is what I do when I am bored in a game, because Monchi's killing it right now. So AI Cola is going to be ahead with 175, and Monchi's going to be right behind with essentially 150. 150. So, oh, look at these Marines trying to take down rocks. Guns don't hurt rocks. People hurt rocks. So, yeah, now there are way too many zealots on the field. Monchi needs to be trying to stalk her up, and we are not going to see really anything. And of course, Charge Law is just going to be finishing. Monchi's now kicking out 2 Stargates, which will be very interesting to see if he's going Phoenix play or if he's going to go Void Ray. I wouldn't be surprised to see either, quite frankly, which really just says I have a very definitive answer, as you can tell, because I totally know what he's doing. And I would also love to see Monchi, there it is, getting down his third, right as I say. I must be perfectly timed, which means I am amazing at StarCraft. And that's essentially it. I'd love to see one Zealot warped in here just to take the tower, the Zelnaga Tower. And I don't know, why is that pronounced as a Z? It's an X. Zelnaga? No, no good. And Monchi is just sitting back, getting ready for a little bit of Banshee harass, but I'm not sure he knows is coming. Of course, 2 Phoenix are on the way, and now another command center is going down. Monchi's going to be ahead the second this, well, he's going to be ahead in the income tab at very least. The second he gets up that third, and of course, now the key is to winning any StarCraft game, which I'm sure any other player knows, is you got to watch the replay and figure out where you got wrong. And many of you may be asking, what does that have to do with this replay? Well, literally nothing. I just happened to be looking at my roommate's computer and he's watching one of his failed replays. But you know what? Anyone watching, he's new to StarCraft, so at least give him some love for that. So let's get back to the game here. We're now seeing a mass Banshee, which is not something they see every day considering they do not attack air. And maybe we're going to see a medevac drop, or maybe not. I don't know. I would love to see some kind of med drop. And Monchi's now moving in with the Phoenix. I'm not sure if this is for actual harass or just the scouting info. And no, he's not going to be getting too much info. And he's not going to be getting too much info on that. But of course, Monchi later on in the game, this will just be eating up supplies, so he may have to get rid of these eventually. So I'm not sure he's too worried about that. If we take a quick look at the APM tab, rather the APM, there we go. Monchi is going to be still right at 147. He's been there for about 10 years. And apparently, my roommate reached 75 APM, even though this is like his 25th game or something. That's bullshit, by the way. There's no way he did. But, you know, I just thought I would quickly mention that, although we are going to see a bit of a push out. No, he's probably going to be taking out these rocks, and he could probably take them out with just these Banshees. That's a lot of Banshees and Siege. I'm actually liking this build quite a lot, especially considering if you take a look, Monchi doesn't really have any Colossus on field, which is really not Monchi's style. Monchi is a very Colossus-heavy player. He uses them in a great deal, actually, great abundance, if you will. But instead, he's opting to go for many more Immortals. I believe this is his 5th Immortal that is going to be warping in, and there's so many Zealots, which is not going to bode well for Monchi if he has not scouted out the mass Banshee. But again, if you take a look at the OP mules, Monchi's going to be ahead by just a little bit. But not a whole ton, because now there is the rich mineral field that is up and running, and now this guy is off to do nothing. I don't know. He's rallied somewhere and he's doing something like that. But in any case, if we get back to the game and the crux of the matter, we are now seeing a bit of a bunker push with a rolling siege line, and that's a big pain. And of course, he's going to lift up this siege and take it out. No, he's not going to be able to take out that siege, which is a damn shame and a waste of energy. As a matter of fact, this siege is probably going to just be repaired by this one guy there, or maybe not. Yes, no, maybe so. He's just going to leave him with 10 HP, which is the worst thing possible. Monchi's now coming up on 200. I'm not sure if he's going to want to keep these Phoenix or just get rid of them so he can get more Stalkers. But of course, this is a very ground-heavy army. These Stalkers are going to need to be able to blink micro underneath all the Banshees. Monchi's now running in. He's probably just going to let them die. Yes, he is just going to be letting them die as he takes out some SCVs. And no, now he's pulling off. That's interesting. Monchi's at essentially 200 versus AI Cola, who now actually does not have a window. He's got a window to lose, whereas Monchi's got one hell of a window to win. And this is a Seeker missile? No one does Seeker missiles ever. What the hell?
Why is Monchi so fucking good?
And my roommates asked, why is Monchi so fucking good? Well, I've actually got an answer for that, funny enough. Monchi's got great play. He is able to scout out his opponent's base. So if we take a quick look here, Monchi knows everything that's going on, including just letting his units die. And many of you are wondering, why the hell would he do that? Well, he's at 200 and he needs some extra supply. So why not just fly them in and kill them? And Monchi should be trying to warp in. Wow! That's a lot of gates. Monchi should be trying to warp in as many stalkers as he can get off, because there is a absolutely massive army that's going to be pushing out to him. I'm not sure if these siege tanks are going to be, I don't know, they may not get sieged in time if Monchi can hit that timing window. Although instead he's opting to go High Templar, so maybe some feedbacks on the field, or maybe, just maybe, some storms. And I'm not sure if that's even researched or not, but that's not my problem. I don't care. Monchi is now throwing down so many gates, I can't even count that high, but of course I am a complete sped, so it does not matter. More zealots are being warped in, as well as another High Templar, and Monchi's now engaging here. He should be trying to focus fire down all of the Banshees. Massive Banshees are in the back, and of course that's a huge storm, which is going to be able to take out almost all of the Marines, softening up AI Cola's army by quite a bit. Monchi's actually falling behind because of this Banshees. Monchi should be trying to focus fire down any and all of the air units, such as the Banshees, because he will lose to those Banshees. Monchi's trying to now focus fire down all of the Banshees. Should be trying to blink underneath them, let the other guys do the job, and no, instead he's going to run them in and just let this guy die. Oh, that was very close. And Monchi's in a lot of trouble right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold this off. Although, great storms going off, which will be able to take out the majority of those Vikings. And Monchi is now trying to get out an Archon, 2 Archons, 3 Archons, which should be able to do some significant damage with the splash damage. Maybe he'll get one more off on those Banshees. I'd love to see a couple more. Yes, he is going to be able to kill off almost all of those Banshees. Monchi is now ahead by about 18 supply. Now warping in more Stalkers and more Zealots, as well as one more High Templar. And Monchi has effectively held that off, and he prepared for the later game. And I'm not sure if AI Cola is going to be Monchi. Indeed, Monchi is probably going to be able to win this game if he does this effectively. Interesting enough, instead of throwing down a base of his own, he is just going to block this expansion. And that will actually be scouted out, because of course now 2 Marines are going to be moving in and doing absolutely nothing. Now we have 3 more Archons are going to be morphing, as well as a Warp Prism, which is very underutilized, which incidentally my noob of a roommate even uses, and that just goes to show you how people should be using them more. And now Monchi's getting into a bit of a bad engagement, but of course these bunkers are going to be completely empty, which is a damn shame for AI Cola. Monchi is now going to be pushing in. He should try and get one storm off, but he doesn't have any, and these Archons are falling very fast. He's got no High Templar to try and deal with them. This Queen, or Ghost rather, this Queen, there are no Zergs on this field. This Ghost is going to be doing a lot of damage, considering with the +2 it will do 24 and 12. As well, Monchi's now going to be pushing in. No, I feel like he could have won that, but actually he 100% could have won that, because he had got a 50 supply advantage, because of course even a 5 supply advantage is an advantage. And Monchi's gonna scout out this base here. I almost pinged it, but why would I do that when I can just jump right to it? He should as well be throwing down a pylon, which he is going to be able to do, as long as all those pesky stalkers get out of his way. And that's essentially it. Monchi could just take this game right now if he pushed in. If you take a look at the SCV count, let's take a quick look at the SCV count. We haven't looked at that. Monchi's up by 20. And now Monchi has a whole heck of a lot going on, as well as another upgrade, and of course more upgrades are here. And maybe a quick little drop's going to be going in from behind. I'm not sure Monchi is going to be moving out. I'm not sure which one to focus on. If AI Cola does not get definitive with what's going on, he could lose this just because of those guys being loaded up into the dropship. Monchi will be able to have these High Templar into his base. He is going to have to drop these guys. No, he's going to be moving into Monchi's base, trying to get a bit of a drop himself. These guys are going to be able to get one storm off, but of course that was a huge waste of money. Monchi is now going to be taking some fire from the Marauders and Marines being dropped into his main base. He should be trying to blink away, or at least taking out this base. And Monchi's now got unpowered buildings in his main because of his Artosis pylons, and now he's warping in a whole heck of a lot of Zealots to try and deal with it. And Monchi should be trying to focus fire down AI Cola's base right now. I am about to sneeze because I'm talking so damn fast. Monchi should be able to clean that up with that many Zealots. And Monchi's now pushing in with a bunch of Zealots, but he's not pushing in with these Stalkers. There's going to be the blink right into it. He should be trying to focus fire down all of these. He should be focus firing down the Banshees. Monchi! God damn it, Monchi. He could have won this like 17 times over. He's got a 40 supply advantage, and if Monchi just runs down all of his units, he should win. He's got 5 Archons morphing, as well as a ton of Zealots are coming in. And now the second base, or rather natural expand, is going to be finished. And there is going to be pretty well an all-in drop going on. No. Yes. No, maybe so. I don't know. Figure it out. Maybe an all-in drop. But, quite frankly, I think Monchi's won this game like 7 times over. Although AI Cola is now only 20 supply behind. And Monchi's going to be moving in to take out this base. And hopefully this one too. So as far as I'm concerned, Monchi's won this game. But, I don't know. Monchi could have won this like 7 million times, but he should be trying to be careful with his stalkers. Slowly blink microing them away. Keeping them away, he's going to be able to blink all of them off. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to see that observer. No, they are not. They do not have any detectors, as well as Monchi's warping in even more Zealots, as well as only a handful of stalkers. And, of course, these High Templar are going to be doing the damage. And now Monchi has a whopping 6 Archons. He should be trying to organize his units to get his ideal position. Now there's going to be a bit of a drop to take out this 5th base, I believe. Remember, I said I can't even count that high. It is going to be the 5th base, though, because I got a friend to tell me what it was. So, and he should be able to take that out pretty handily. And he should be able to take that out pretty handily. Monchi does not need to run all of his units back. He's got a ridiculous advantage. Now he's back up to a 50 advantage. I'm not sure why Monchi's opting to run all of his units back for like 3 units. That was a complete waste of time, money, and energy. Although there's going to be a big drop into the main now. And Monchi's trying to warp in some Zealots to deal with it. He is going to be able to get 1, 2, maybe 4 off. I'm not sure if Monchi's going to be able to hold it off with that few, because, of course, Marauder Slow is not even finished. What? That's ridiculous. And now Monchi's practically running his whole force up here. That's ridiculous. But Monchi needs to be trying to push out right now. He's got a bit of a timing window with 200 supply versus 160. AI Cole is going to be in a lot of trouble if he does not have any siege tanks. These Vikings are going to be free kills. These are going to be free kills for the Archons, and of course, maybe even free kills for this planetary fortress. I'm not sure if any storms are going to be going off on these Marines. One huge storm is sure to go off. There's going to be a storm, but it's going to miss. And actually, 1 Archon is going to die, High Templar rather. And of course, there's going to be a huge storm going off, able to kill off 90% of AI Cola's units. I'm not sure if AI Cola is even going to be able to hold to these Archons, let alone all the rest that is sure to be warping in back here. Monchi should be running all of these units in. He is indeed. These Archons are coming in to do their damage. Of course, they have, what is that? 360 health, as well as 34 damage to 47. There's going to be the GG from AI Cola. Monchi, god damn it, you're wasting my entire Saturday. But in any case, you won the game with a blistering win of 100 supply. Jesus. Monchi just outplaying AI Cola in both the first game and the second. And glad to be casting. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys subscribe. And peace!